am a strong Jewish woman and a member of this House and a descendant of Holocaust survivors, and I have never it's never been singled out, and I have never been made to feel less, except for today, when the Prime Minister accused me of standing with swastikas. I think he owes me an apology. I'd like an apology, and I think he owes an apology to all members of this House.
Mr. Speaker, I've never seen such shameful and dishonorable remarks coming from this Prime Minister. My great-grandfather flew over 30 missions over Nazi Germany. My great-great-uncle's body lies at the bottom of the English Channel. There are members of this conservative caucus who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust.
I remember when I lost my mind.
All right, well, you guys saw a little bit of it there at the beginning. This guy has, I think he's officially lost his mind. Before we get all the way started, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe. Those are two of the most important things you could be doing to help continue the growth of this channel. We're doing really well on a bunch of these videos and like to keep that going. Love the support. Speaking of support, apparently Justin Trudeau continues to lose his damn mind. And in one of the weirdest yet most predictable moments ever in the little debate. You know, I know you look at in America, you might be a little confused by what's even going on. That's like our House of Commons, like you guys have yours, and this is like them doing the little back and forth. One team sits on one side, then the official opposition sits on the other, and then they kind of go back and forth a couple minutes, like boom, 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 boom. This is where, of course, in a previous video, you guys saw Justin Trudeau just completely walk out to avoid even hearing a question regarding the truckers. But here's the full context of what happened with our wonderful Prime Minister and a Jewish MP.
These people, very often misogynistic, racist, women haters, science deniers, the fringe. Same Prime Minister 6 years later as he fans the flames of an unjustified national emergency. So, Mr. Speaker, when did the Prime Minister lose his way? When did it happen?
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Conservative Party members can stand with people who wave swastikas. They can stand with people who wave the Confederate flag. We will choose to stand with Canadians who deserve to be able to get to their jobs, who be able to get their lives back. These illegal protests need to stop, and they will, Mr. Speaker.
I am a strong Jewish woman and a member of this House and a descendant of Holocaust survivors, and I have never it's never been singled out, and I have never been made to feel less, except for today, when the Prime Minister accused me of standing with swastikas. I think he owes me an apology. I'd like an apology, and I think he owes an apology to all members of this House.
Mr. Speaker, I've never seen such shameful and dishonorable remarks coming from this Prime Minister. My great-grandfather flew over 30 missions over Nazi Germany. My great-great-uncle's body lies at the bottom of the English Channel. There are members of this conservative caucus who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust. For the Prime Minister to accuse any colleague in this House of standing with the swastika is shameful. I'm giving the Prime Minister an opportunity. I'm calling on him to unreservedly apologize for this shameful remark.
Canadians deserve their freedoms back. Mr. Speaker, these illegal blockades that have continued to interfere with people's livelihoods, to interfere with people's daily lives,
have to interrupt the Honourable Prime Minister, so ask everyone to calm down so we can hear the answer. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the measures put forward in this Emergencies Act are proportional, are responsible, and quite frankly, are completely folded within the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The steps that we are taking are important and measured to restore order and freedoms to Canadians in this country. That is exactly what we are doing.
Well, member for Sturgeon River Parkland.
Mr. Speaker, the lack of an apology from that Prime Minister speaks volumes. I have given this Prime Minister an opportunity to retract a shameful remark where he would accuse any honorable member of this House to stand with a swastika. As I said before, we have colleagues who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust. I'm giving the Prime Minister one more chance. Will he apologize to all members of this House?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Members of the Conservative Party are calling to us to take more action over the past 2 weeks on this. They continued to stand with and encourage these illegal blockades. Mr. Speaker, Canadians are watching carefully and see exactly where the Conservative politicians who've stood with those blockades are standing. We will stand on the side of Canadians who deserve their lives back, who deserve their livelihoods back.
For Sturgeon River Parkland.
My apologies, Mr. Speaker, I didn't write these out. But the fact is, I don't know how any member of the government caucus can stand by this Prime Minister when he accuses honorable members of this House of standing with a swastika. I'm calling on all members of the Liberal caucus to denounce the Prime Minister. I have given him 2 chances to apologize. He has refused to apologize. Mr. Prime Minister, apologize.
These illegal blockades have been going on in Ottawa for 20 days now. People have been interrupted in their daily lives, have been made to feel fearful, have been made to miss shifts at their work across southern Ontario. These are things that cannot be stood for, which is why we're moving forward with a responsible set of measures to allow the local police jurisdiction to do their jobs. We continue to defend freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, as long as it's peaceful and legal, Mr. Speaker.
Isn't it amazing to watch a human being just completely fall apart before your very eyes? I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've never seen a world leader just fall apart like this. Like, to the point where even people within the Liberal Party are starting to speak out against him because they're like, he's not going to be around much longer, so we need to separate ourselves from this so that people don't take this out on us when they go to the polls. But I think that this is some irreparable damage to a lot of people who might have been in the center. But then again, maybe not, because we all know that, Trudeau gave the media $600 million to basically have him in his pocket and never have a bad story written about him. So if him falling apart like this, him saying the things that he's been saying, he's lucky that it's not America, to be honest. He's so lucky he's not in America and that he's in Canada where the media is protecting him. Because if it was America, Fox, at least, would be running this story, wall to wall. In Canada, it's just like a bunch of MSNBCs. CBC, CTV, City TV. It's all basically MSNBC for American people out there if you want to make a comparison. They will not do anything. Now, it's getting so bad that they might, because they might want to get in front of this for the next election, so then that way they have some type of credibility remaining, or at least like the semblance of some credibility, where they can be, where if people criticize them, they can be like, well, what do you mean? When he did this and he did that, we were all over it. We did not let him get away with this and blah, blah, blah. But Canadians are also a brain dead, mush brain idiots. It's like the Bill Maher thing where 50% of American Democrats, 53% thought that you had like a 50% chance of dying or something from COVID. I think that was like the poll that came out, which is an insanely high number. And anyone that's actually been paying attention and like gotten some semblance of a wide variety of information knows that it's not true. So it's just, now imagine Canadians being just that. That's why something so simple like the Flu Trucks Clan can start trending on Twitter. Or truckers go home and stuff like that. We're the most easily propagandized people because I don't know why. I really don't. It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. Now, could it be that a lot of it is how the media frames things? Absolutely. I think that's absolutely a possibility because, you get these polls or whatever where they put in the headline, oh, like there's 2/3 of Canadians support Trudeau's implementation of the Emergencies Act. It's like there's no possible way that's true. There's no possible way that 20 million Canadians are like, yeah, do that. I don't think it's possible that there's 20 million Canadians that even have an opinion on it, a strong enough opinion on it to answer these polls. But then when you look into it, it's usually like, oh, it's like we polled 1,000 Trudeau voters and found that 2/3 of them, it's like, okay, could you put that in the headline maybe? No? Oh, okay. It's like when they say that unvaccinated people are 89 times more likely to be hospitalized than unvaccinated people, which is completely true. That's a completely real thing. But then you have to look at it and be like, oh, but that's because vaccinated people have a 0.01% chance of hospitalization. So you times that by 89 and you get 0.89. A lot less scary of a number, but it's still 89 times more likely. So they get to go like, well, I mean, we weren't lying. We didn't lie. It is 89 times more likely. What, you don't believe in science? It's like, oh, it is 89 times more likely, but you know what you did. You know what you did. And it's amazing. And when he talks, I'll play it again, and you can see the panic in him. Take a look. Take a look at how he's got like this tremor and like a panic in him as he's getting heckled and he's trying to get out these pre-written scripted lines that he was handed so that he can keep yelling them.
People have been interrupted in their daily lives, have been made to feel fearful, have been made
and that's the problem. You can see by the way he talks, he's constantly like trying to remember what was written down ahead of time. There's nothing genuine about what he's saying. He's just saying things that are written down that have no relation to anything, which is why he never actually answers questions. When he goes, when are you going to admit that you've kind of screwed up? Well, if they want to stand with people with swastikas, and it's just like, that's not what, we didn't ask that. We didn't ask you that. He's falling apart. And he's doing this Emergencies Act like I'm completely in control here. I have not lost my mind. I am I am in control. This is leadership. And the conservatives want to support them. I support Canadians. That was pretty spot on though. You guys gotta give me credit. I'm pretty much nailing the Trudeau impersonations minus bending over and actually putting something in my ass. I'll never do that. But it continues to be an amazing experience watching Justin try to act like he's got us down. Like he's got us out. Like he's got us afraid. Like he's got us running the opposite way. But for as long as we are in this war measures time, in this state of martial law in Canada, I will end my videos this way for now. We're not down and we're not running the other way. Justin, we're up and we want the smoke.